What's up? I got the camera back, and today we're doing more wiring stuff. I'm gonna actually tackle the fans right now. So there's a bunch of stuff I gotta do. Not a bunch of stuff, but there's a few more things I gotta do, like the fans, which we're doing in this video. We got to install the boost gauge, the AFR gauge, some other little, turbo timer, and just a few other little things, which should really, if I just stick at it today, I should be able to get it all today, and then I can kind of do like a final check and whatnot. But today I'm going to finish up what I need to finish up, which is probably going to take quite a bit of time, which is wiring this. And it's not so much wiring it, it's going to take time. It's going to be like routing the wires, making it look pretty clean. Here's what we got going on. I'm actually going to have to like take off the old electric tape, or old electric tape, see which wires is which, because it's supposed to tell me which wire is which. I need to figure out which ones are power and which ones are the ground. So 2 wires are powers, 2 wires are grounds. If you link the 2 together, your fans will always be on high, and if you only route 1 wire, they'll be on the low setting. We're just gonna run it on the high setting because, better cooling. They're going to be on a 12-volt relay with a linkable fuse to a power source, which will probably be on this post. I'm going to wire them up in that post there. So I'm probably going to wire everything on like fuses and everything like that right here. Wire's going to go inside the car for the switches to turn them on and off. The switches are going to be on an accessory power from a wire to from my stereo, which I'll show you guys kind of like the setup I'm doing in here as well, because it's kind of important, to do it right and whatnot. So you can see, oh my God, I'm overexposed. You can see right there, I have a little leakable fuse to a green wire right there, and that is spliced into my stereo harness, which I still have to figure out what I'm doing with my stereo. I want it to go right here and have my gauges over here and have switches in my center console, which is in the back seat right now because I got to drill holes. So these are where the fans are going to be. The fan power is going to be routed to the fans here. So the fans will only have power when the car is on accessory. So that way, if when I do turn my car off, I'm not going to be running my fans up front. They'll be getting power. They just won't be running, or they won't be getting power. The switches will be on, but it won't get power unless the car is at least to the accessory position. I don't know if that made sense. I think I butchered that, but just leave a comment below. I'll get back to you. Because it's a power source, I put a linkable fuse in between this as well. So I'm gonna run that to a power distribution block, which I'll be making, or I have, and then that wire will go to the power distribution block, and then 2 wires will go from that, and then that's kind of where the power for my gauges are going to get as well, with a 30 amp fuse in between, or we'll probably do a 20 amp fuse because this isn't actually a whole lot of amperage running through. So that's the switches. So yeah, that will be the power to the switches, and then a wire will go to the relay, and then the fans will go to the relay, and then the power from the battery will go to the relay. So first things first, I'm gonna go ahead and find out which wires is power and which wires are the ground. All right, so I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see it, but that green and blue wire on top, those are the power wires. The yellow and right under those is a black wire. Obviously black is ground. The yellow is also a ground as well. Now there's 2 ways to do this. You can either just snip all those wires off and start soldering them to your own wiring and sending it to the relays and whatnot, or you can keep, if you got lucky enough and you picked this up at Pick and Pull like I did, and they still have the connectors on it, you can figure out where the 2 power wires are running and which pin they're going to, and then figure that out on the harness. And that way, if you ever need to pull your fans out, you don't have to like cut wires and resolder them later on. You could just pull the connectors, and then you can pull your fans out, and so on and so forth, which is something I might do. I'm not too sure yet. I'm gonna figure this out right now, see what I want to do. My problem is this guy is a little too short, so we'll see how much playroom I have and kind of make a decision from there. But I'm gonna go ahead and try and figure out which one is power wire out of the connector, and then come back to you guys. All right, so yeah, so the option here is these two wires go in the back right here, and they go through here to a white and black and a white and yellow for power. And then ground is going to be a white and green and on a black wire. And I kind of made that I was like looking at it and I was like, maybe they connect. I just want to be sure. And then I saw the black wire and I'm like, you know what? Black is always a ground, and where the pin that the black wire goes into goes to the same pin that goes to the black wire on this part of the harness. So grounds, power. So you could do this, like I said, do this one of two ways. I'm going to do it this way, like I said, just because if and ever I ever need to disconnect the fans, I guess, I can just pull the plug instead of having to like cut the wire, resolder it, redo everything. I don't want to do that. It's a pain in the ass. That takes more time. And this is just click. All right, let's pull it out. Well, click that one over there, but you know what I mean. So easy peasy lemon squeezy. I'm going to start soldering this right now. I'm going to go pretty much lay out the groundwork for the power and the relay, and then I'll show you guys that real quick, and then we'll go to the next step. So I guess before I go any further, this is like everything I'm gonna need, except that stuff up there was for wiring my stereo. The stereo, I did do butt connectors just because A, I didn't want to have to solder it inside the car. B, I had to splice quite a few wires into one. And you guys saw earlier, I ended up electrical taping it all together. So it's secure, it's good, it's fine, that will work. I have no problem with butt connectors. If that's how you do your wiring, that's how you do your wiring. Just make sure it's good. Those are actually fairly reliable as long as you crimp them down really, really well. The way I'm gonna do this is like these two wires right here, these are the two power wires. I'm gonna strip them, tie them together, put a big old heat shrink around it, and then solder them together. Same with these. So the ground and the power are both just gonna get soldered together to one wire. Like I said, we're just gonna be running two switches, one for left, one for right, and it's just gonna be on high speed only, so which is fine. So yeah, I'm gonna solder these right now. All right, so that's kind of the general idea of what it will look like when you're done with this part, at least. So this is just getting grounded to the chassis, and this is going to my relay, and then my relay is going to be grounded to the chassis. This blue wire is a bit longer. It's actually probably all the way down at the bottom over there. But the blue wire is the power wire. The black is obviously the ground. And you can see that, let me see if I can kind of get a little closer and get a little more having a hard time. There we go. Obviously this is a power side, and this is the ground side. So this should work in theory. We won't know until we actually do it. So yeah, and this is the other one that will almost touch my soldering iron. This is the other side. So I've already separated them. They're different colors. I don't understand why manufacturers do that. I wish they would just keep it one color, because then it would make me a little less confused in the beginning. Figured it out, but the power wires here is like a black and yellow. The power wires here is black and blue. Yeah, black and blue. So like white and black, white and blue is the power wires on this. White and red and black are the grounds. So I've already you can see I've already separated them. So these are going to get a power, and these are going to get a ground wire. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take a break here real quick. I'm really hungry, but the first part of it is done. It's they're wired up. So again, I have a diagram for this. I'll throw it up right here right now so you can kind of see what's going on. 87 is the fans, 86 is the switches, A30 is the power from the battery, and then the last one's the ground. Can't remember which number it is, but it's right there on the diagram. But yeah, so those are connected to 87 right now. I have it kind of fished through the front here a little bit. It's all zip tied up. It's actually pretty sturdy. I put it in between because I didn't want to have to like route wires, you know, through the front, in front of the motor. The grounds are right there. Let me pull my flashlight back a little bit so it's not like overexposed. There we go. So yeah, the grounds are right there for it. It's wired in like so. It's looking pretty good, if I do say so myself. Yeah, it's actually pretty solid. Okay, cool. So I did mark one side. It's not gonna focus, but I did mark one side with a red Sharpie to let me know that that is the left side fan. I call it the left side fan because if I was in the driver's seat, this would be on my left side. And then the right side fan doesn't have any Sharpie, so you can kind of see the red on that. That way I just didn't get confused. So now, pretty much where I put the grounds over there, the relays, their grounds are gonna go also in here somewhere. I'm putting the relays right here. You can kind of see I already drilled some holes out for it. I'm just gonna put them up front right here. I'm not too worried because I'm getting a bash bar made for this car. So, you know, if I crash anyways, the whole front's gonna be screwed. I'm gonna have to pretty much replace it all anyways, so whatever. What's another $8 item? And then the power wire I'm gonna run right here and just run it to the fuse box right there. And then the longest wire is gonna be the switch wire, which is gonna go all the way in the car. There's the switches. I was gonna do one on each one because there was two. I started to drill into this one and it just like split all the way through. It happens. It's an old 90s shit box. So I'll take a look at the underside here. So there it is. So I'll connect those guys and we'll clean that up and everything. All the wires you guys see, that's kind of a mess right now. I'm gonna clean it up. So these are the switches for my fan. This is off, that's on. I could not fit the lock washer on there. I think on plastic it will be okay. It's not going to, if it becomes an issue, I'll fix it. And here we have my starter button. That's the starter for my car. It's a button, push button, just boop. And then this is a power distribution block, which I spliced a wire for my 12 volt accessory harness or accessory power for my stereo off into a fuse, a linkable fuse, and then a wire it's in the car. It's long enough to go back here. So I drilled a small little hole in here. I'm gonna run wire from under my carpet of my center console through that hole, put it down there, and then I can start putting accessory power stuff on top of it. So like the switches, my gauges, so on and so forth. So that's how I'm gonna wire it. Now you don't have to do it like this. Again, this is why it's taking me so long. I'm really nitpicky. I made sure this was like perfect. I used a razor to make the hole big. I was just trying to be perfect, and I'm not a perfect person when it comes to this stuff. I normally just send it. But this is how it's gonna work. It's a race car. I'm not worried. I'm not gonna really drive this daily, I guess, you know. So I'm gonna start running wire and then get everything in the car and then kind of show you guys the final product. All right, due to lack of space in my car, I'm not gonna show you guys exactly how I routed it. If you don't know how switches work, they come with 3 pins, most of them. Some come with 2. One's a power, one's a supply. This is a 3-pin one, so it has a power, a supply, and a ground. And the ground is just for little LED lights that are in the switches. You can see that yellow on top. Those are little lights. I got those because sometimes it's nice to know if I'm killing my battery or not. So I will kind of give you a quick rundown of how it's going back here. So this is my power distribution block. A little hole I cut out, starter button, switches for the fans, and then the ground. Maybe I can try and get in there. No, it's gonna be too much, but oh, you can kind of see right there. You can see the blue. Oh, it's kind of nice to have that hole. Now I can kind of see my connections and stuff. So yeah, so that's how they're set up. As you can kind of see, that green wire is the supply. So let's start here. So the blue wire is its power source. That goes on the power pin. These switches, most of these switches come with a sticker that say what's power, supply, and the ground, and what's on and off. So this one is connected to the power. The green is connected to the supply, which goes to the relay, which activates or flips the relay to turn on the fans. And then the ground is just, you know, for flashy lights. So I'm gonna tighten that down real quick, and then we're gonna go ahead and fire her up, see if she works. Oh, buddy. Oh, yeah, they work. Oh, and they're blowing cold. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's exciting. All right, let's turn this off before I kill my battery. Oh, my wiper blades. See? Lights. Off. Car, off. All right, pull the batteries and kill it. Fan works. Hell yeah. Honestly, you guys, my heart is like beating so hard right now. I'm so scared about electrical stuff. Every time, not that I don't know what I'm doing. I need a moment. All right, it's not that I don't know what I'm doing, but I've had fires before. Not fires, not like fire, but you know, smoke and scares. It's always kind of nerve-wracking, but this worked out well. It's blowing air where it needs to blow. I can feel it. Feels good. Feels like it's gonna keep everything cooled. I'm still like shaking and kind of nervous. Electrical always kind of scares me because you never know. Even if you do it right, you could. I almost like, especially with working with two of everything and having to feed 2 wires to 2 relays to 2 switches to 2 of everything. You have to really, really pay attention to which wire is going where, especially if you're using all the same color, which is fine if you want to do that. That's why I marked them with the Sharpie. Anyways, it's done. It's over with. I'm happy. It works. Whew. Fans work. Now to the next hard project, which I don't know what it is. I think the next video is just going to be me pretty much getting this running. I'm going to take a break from making a bunch of videos. I'll probably do like quick snippets of like installing the gauges, installing the turbo timer, just little stuff like that really quickly, and then just do a startup. That way I have more time to focus on working on the car. That I'm going to get out of here. I'll see you guys on the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Fans done. That was honestly the hardest thing I think it was going to be about this car, because just the amount of effort that has to go into it. The amount of work, I should say. I don't know. I'm tired. And I'm still... Whoo! Whoo! I'll see you guys on the next video. Okay, bye.